React components, they are the fundamental building blocks, as we've been saying all this while, because React is all about components, right? They're standalone essentially, reusable. That's one of the keywords of a component. It has to be reusable. Segment of code that represent a portion of the user interface, which is the UI, right? So you can decide to split a certain page into different reusable code. Okay, now what's a component? A React component is something similar to a JavaScript function that accepts input arbitrarily, right? Called props, short form of properties, right? Also returns React element. Is it clear? Now, basically, it's just the same way you define a function in JavaScript, you pass props to it, that props is make use of, or rather, is made use of inside of the function, right? So that's just an analogy of what the React component is. Now, let's create a component here. Now, we'll be doing this. Under our component, I'll be creating, let's say, button. Now, your component must always start with a capital letter. When you're naming your component, it should always start with a capital letter, right? So I'm going to have this, and I'm going to create the. Now, our advice, if you don't have this extension, you go for it. React snippet, yeah, this extension, you go for it. So it's going to make it very easy for you to create your React component function. So I'm just going to do this. Let's see. It's going to create the React functional component for me. All right. So yeah. So this is what we have. Now your function, or rather your component, must always return a JSX syntax. Right. So if we decide to do this, right, so you can see we're already getting this error. Right? JSX expressions must have one parent element. Right? So it's not allowed that we do this. Rather, we can have multiple, we can nest multiple elements inside of here, and will still be good. But it must, right? It is a rule that should be followed. It must always return a single JSX element. All right, now back to talking about button and props. So over here, we can say that this button element should accept title, and yeah, let's hold on to this for now. It should just accept a title. Now here, I'm going to do this. Say it should accept title. This is how you create a component in React, right? This component now is a fully functional React component that accepts a prop, and the prop is being made use of inside of the component.